Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, when we last left off, we had just rendezvoused with our first Kethane mining rig and filled 2 tanks worth of Kethane on our transporter. Now we just have to meet up with our orbital processor and turn it into precious fuel. And this video will show precisely why it's been a while since I posted a KSP video. Plenty of things go wrong, though only a couple are due to my ineptitude. The first thing that went wrong was entirely my fault, as was the second. The first thing is that I forgot I had no more electricity, and I forgot to extend my solar panels for a quick recharge, leading me to use RCS for maneuvering, such as flipping over in just a couple seconds. The second thing is that my attention to my craft caused me to forget about watching my trajectory, and I may have accidentally put us into, well, a little bit of an escape velocity, as you will see right when I get back to the map. Yes, I forgot how easy it is to end up escaping Minimus. That's what happens when you don't play a game for a little while. You start forgetting the minor details. And then I used some more RCS to try flipping around and getting our trajectory back down so we're in more of an orbit type scenario. But yes, these are just a couple of the things that went wrong. There should be about 2 or 3 or 4 more. I forget which. Well, now that we are getting to a point where we just need to raise our periaps, we have a rather eccentric orbit compared to our orbital processor, which is something I plan on fixing in the near future. Not this episode, though. I decided to do that part off camera. Anyway, let's see, where was my train of thought going? I had it for a moment. Oh, yes. Anyway, now all we have to do is meet up with the processing unit. And, of course, the orbit is all messed up, but that's not a problem because changing your orbit around Minimus is rather easy. Not much gravitational influence on your craft, and at a high enough altitude that even if there was an atmosphere, it wouldn't affect you at all. And we will be coming up to a point where you will see one of the main issues that's been kind of delaying my videos for Kerbal Space Program, and it's got me wondering whether or not I should wait for the mods to update further so they're not quite as buggy, or if I should just keep going with it, as their bugginess can be rather entertaining. Right, so after working around with a maneuver node for a little while, I had decided that the best spot for me to rendezvous would be the other side of Minmus. And to do that, I should just extend my AppWaps so that it is farther out from Minimus than our orbital processor, so the orbital processor can catch up with us, and we will rendezvous with it at a very, very close range, actually. See, I believe that I got to like a 0.5, 0.6 separation point. Lots of points there. But yes. And we will be fading away and getting to the point where we're starting to rendezvous in just a second. And as we are coming up, all we have to really do is slow ourselves down so we're not speeding past the processing unit. And fortunately, that is rather easy. I could probably do all of that with nothing but RCS. It's only close to about a 30 meter per second burn, which is pretty good, honestly. So yes, there's been quite a few bugs. Not very good, but they're not entirely game breaking. All that it really requires is a quick reload or closing the game and reopening it, and the bug is fixed. But at the same time, it's annoying because I can lose a lot of progress to a bug that decides to either destroy my spacecraft or cause multiple explosions like that one time, creating massive amounts of debris that need to be cleaned up. And let's see, we're just trying to accelerate towards the orbital processor so we can attempt to dock with it. Now it is sideways compared to us, which is a slight problem because the orbital processor is a massive behemoth that is very sluggish to maneuver. I'm thinking of attaching some RCS blocks to make it so I can maneuver it just a little bit more. It does have monopropellant storage, which is very important because you need to refuel your monopropellant too, and oh dear, the processing unit seems to have suffered some sort of malfunction, causing it to explode spontaneously, sending debris scattering all throughout the system. Yes, I don't know why that happened. To this, well, I guess I can say day, because it is a day later since I recorded this. Well, yes, no clue why that happened. And now we see yet another bug that happened. I reloaded, and my spacecraft has disappeared completely. And after another quick load, we have no spacecraft again, and we are flying through space at an accelerated speed. So I tried going back to the Space Center, and the Space Center itself had disappeared as well. So after a quick reload of the game itself, I go to the tracking station, check to see if everything is in place, and yes, fortunately everything is. Now just to see if the orbital processor explodes again, we switch to control it, and no, nothing happens. So yes, I have no idea what caused it to just spontaneously combust. And I decided that since I'm over here, I might as well flip over the processing unit so it is kind of more level, more lined along the 90-degree mark. That way I should have a much easier time of docking with it. And yes, it is a very sluggish and painfully slow maneuver. You know, I had forgotten how beautiful looking this processing unit actually is. It's kind of like a little flower. A flower that will give us nectar of precious fuel. And after quickly zipping out to map mode to fix the small disappeared spacecraft bug that happens every time we switch vessels for some reason, we get back to the point where we are trying to rendezvous. And yes, this is a process that will take a fair amount of time. Now, the video is currently set up to 2x acceleration right now, just to make this part go a little bit faster, so this will end up making a slightly shorter video overall, but not by too much, and this is where the final problem happened during this recording, and this one is entirely my fault. Remember how I was using all that RCS to try to maneuver in the atmosphere of Minmus before I realized I was out of electricity? Yes, this will come back to haunt me very shortly, and it's partially because I was trying to use this docking mod to figure out how to dock. I still don't have the hang of it, which is a major problem, because, well, I'm not good at figuring mods out on the first try, and even several attempts later, I still do not know this docking mod very well. But I'm starting to understand how things work out. It's just a matter of practicing and learning completely. And yes, you did see a giant flash of light on Minimus. I believe that is something to do with the B9 aerospace lights. And as you see, we are fairly lined up right now. I honestly should just be able to thrust forward and manage to dock completely. But no, that's not how things ever go for me, are they? Yes, I take my sweet time trying to get there, and I keep fiddling around, trying to adjust my position. Something that does come back to haunt me because it puts me completely out of alignment when originally I was fairly lined up. Yes, I second guess myself far too often. If I would just keep thrusting forward and not pushing myself up and down, we would be docking right about now. But no, I slow myself down and start to panic a bit, and there goes another flash of light on Minmus. And as you see, we are now far, far off from our target. Well, just have to adjust some more and try docking again. And again, we fail to actually connect. I keep on focusing on the little docking maneuver window thing and not where my spacecraft actually is. And it's not working out very well for me. As you see, we start flying further away from the refinery. Not good at all. And we are coming to the point where I am about to run out of RCS completely. And there we are, no more RCS whatsoever. Yes. So close and no more. Well, I do still have liquid fuel, and we are pointed at the docking port, so let's just thrust straight at it and bounce right off because we missed our target. Oh yes. See, I caused so many problems for myself, but try again, and success! Now let's switch over to past me for the final part of this video. Okay, so what did we learn today? I would think that we learned don't screw around with trying to dock using a mod you're unfamiliar with when you are low on monopropellant. So, I hope you guys enjoyed join me trying to do another retroactive voiceover commentary style. And I hope I will have remembered everything I decided I was going to talk about during that. If I don't, that's going to be quite sad. That one's empty, that one's empty. And there wasn't really much monopropellant left on here. So, let's go ahead and get the kethane transferred over, and then we can start processing it. Okay, so the kethane mod is pretty cool. You'll see in a moment exactly how this all starts to work. And there we go, we have one full tank now. So right click on this and we can activate what we want to convert things into. Right now I think we will convert into monopropellant. So kethane starts being drained and monopropellant starts being slowly generated. Now this is a very tiny generator. There is a much larger generator which will do all this stuff much, much faster. Let's see, I can turn these lights off. There we go. Makes it very dark, but we don't need to see anything right now. So, this is part one of my current goal, is to get monopropellant and fuel processed and generated. The other part of my goal is
to change the orbit of this facility. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge, because we have to cancel out our orbit, kind of, and then go the opposite way. And while we're at it, try to reduce the orbit so it's not hundreds of years to... I'm exaggerating. It's not days to catch up with it and dock. Let's see. We're generating a good amount of mountain propellant, it seems. Yep, all the way up to 2.9. And I believe that's per, because it generates it for each one of the things, including ours, I assume. Yes, including our own monopropellant storage. Great. It's phenomenal. Okay. So let's see. Ideally, I would have docked with this side because it's got all the strut endpoints that I can connect to. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I didn't want to try to maneuver this sluggish behemoth to flip around an extra 180 degrees. And let's see. Getting good amount of monopropellant. It generates currently at a rate of 0.23. And it doesn't look like it takes very much keythane to do that, so that's good. See, that one's empty. Let's empty this one. Now, I know there's not really much point in me emptying these things exactly, but if I want to actually leave and come back, I need to have this all emptied. So, transfer all the keythane we have on board into the processing lab. Now, I have been debating on whether or not I'm going to put off this series for a little while. If I do, that'll be 2 series I have kind of being put to the side. I'll have my Manuslipped Island one, which is kind of off to the side right now because I am just kind of grinding away at things, and in my opinion, grinding is quite boring to watch. Good. Looks like we're out of keythane on the transporter, so it's very good. I think we will let this continuously generate monopropellant until it has used up until it has filled all the tanks full of monopropellant that it can possibly fill. And then I'll start generating the liquid fuel and the oxidizer. But back to what I was saying. The reason I'm thinking of putting this particular series on a sort of hiatus for a little while is because mainly the issues you saw during the voiceover commentary section of the video. I'm having issues with it not staying fully functional. The mods I'm using aren't really updated to 0.23. They work with 0.23, but they're not specifically updated to work with 0.23. And Kerbal Space Program is currently in version 0.24, I believe. I think. I saw something about 0.24 on the library page, and I don't know if it's actually updated or if it's something else. Either way, we have other concerns. Now, I wonder if I'm going to need to actually balance these out, or if it's going to be okay having it unbalanced. I probably should have it balanced, just to be on the safe side. But that's not something to worry about right now. Let's see. The next video I do this, I don't think I will actually record me adjusting the orbit of this entire device, because that'll be That'll be just kind of something that's not particularly new, not very interesting. I think the next thing I want to do in Kerbal Space Program is... let's see... I haven't been to any other system except for the Kerbal system. Maybe I should try sending a probe to Duna. Yeah, I should send a probe to Duna to get some preliminary data. And with that, potentially more research points to unlock more things. Now, all I know about Duna is that it's got a moon called Ike. It's got a sort of atmosphere. I don't know the height of it, of when you are considered in the atmosphere and when you're not. But since it's got an atmosphere, it might be possible for me to land there fairly simply. Maybe even try making an SSTO, because I think Duna has a lower gravity than Kerbin. I think it's got a lower gravity than Kerbin, so it would be easier for an SSTO to take off and land. At the same time, would that be a good idea, considering I'm not that familiar with making SSTOs? You know, actually that might make it the best idea, because I'm not familiar with making SSTOs. So one, I would be learning how to operate an SSTO effectively through trial and error. Two, you'll get to watch my trial and error and see me fail horribly or succeed surprisingly. But it's all depending on when I decide to actually put up another Kerbal Space Program video. Whether I'm gonna wait until the mods actually update so it's possibly less crashy and less glitchy and buggy, or if I say, you know, screw it, the glitches and stuff are all part of the fun of mods, and as a result it makes for more entertaining video besides. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I know, not much was done, but you did get to see a few of the bugs I have to deal with on pretty much a regular basis every time I try to record a video with Kerbal Space Program these days. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys, and goodbye.